Okay, let's start for today's discussion. There are some cases. I think Vera just put a case nih ya from employee funnel. So let's see Vera case, the one with the blue stickies. So everyone, please observe and read Vera case and put your stickies around and give your opinion. So I will give 5 minutes for you guys to start doing that. Okay, I think everyone's done with their opinion. Okay, let's see. Okay, for everyone, please also engage, give some reactions to the opinion that you think you agree with, or some of thumbs down if you don't feel like agree with that. Okay. Hmm. One comes from Windy. Let's go to Windy.
Okay.
Kak Vera asking if um, will it be okay to dig deeper, even if it makes the person uncomfortable. From my side, I don't think it will be a good idea because some problems that happen is actually can be humiliating for that person to tell others. But I see that Kak Vera use like several techniques like labeling and accusation audit, but it still don't work. But maybe for me, I will also try to use label as well, by saying it seems like you're facing a personal problem that it's hard for you to explain. I will use that just to make sure that the case is really because of the personal problem, not to dig more about what the problem is. Thank you.
Hmm. Okay, thank you, Windy. I'm some part agree, with some part I'm questioning. So maybe first question to Vera, like in what point we could decide whether it's privacy matter or not in HR, and then for your labels, when you label, it seems like you're facing a personal problem. It's kind of like leading to the thing that we still unsure about it, actually, Windy, because we never know whether this candidate is trying to menutupi something, right? Apakah itu personal matter ataukah emang itu ya dia nggak suka aja sama BV system or something gitu. Jadi dia cuma bilang please due to some problem and it's blurry gitu. Jadi if you uh, do that label, I'm afraid it's leading and they can like, oh yeah aja gitu, because they want to just apa namanya out quickly gitu very soon. Gimana kalau menurut Vera? Let's go to Vera.
Actually, I'm not really sure ya if there's like a thing that can be said like very personal. Karena sampai sekarang, they are like, they're okay to share it if it even if it's personal problem too. Like, we're not sharing it to the others, right? But then, like, this candidate is just like makes me think, is it that personal gitu? And actually, when I read Yoga's notes kan, yeah, I think I miss asking kayak whether it is a personal side or our side gitu. So, but yeah, kalau dari HR nggak ada yang personal banget sih. Ya, back to Nadine.
I see. Okay. So yes, I think yoga input is also interesting for that. Yeah, I think it could be done. But Vera, in which stage do you think you're actually failed in this case?
The part when I already used like most of the techniques, but then she still answer, I really don't mean like that. I just how yeah, I'm really sorry about that. So she still doesn't want to tell, right? And I was thinking like, should I really persuade again? So I just like close it with sending her the dropout survey.
Hmm. I think you give up too early, sih, Vera.
Really?
I think if you reply the last message of her, I think you could dig some more. I don't know what makes you stop on that di situ gitu. I think when she said I just how ya, she just confused how to explain, not literally don't want to explain gitu. Sebetulnya butuh di help di situ sebetulnya, Vera. I think if you keep doing that, apa namanya, still reply on that message, I think it's masih ada possibility untuk kamu discover. And then you come back the next morning, right, Vera? And it's gonna be restart from zero again, udah gak akan working, I think. That's my opinion. So let's go to okay. Ini ada poin dari Dimas. Is there a chance for us to take it out for phone call? Yep. So we can hear her explanation better. Yes, I think so. I would agree with this karena uh, yes, sir. Sorry, what do you mean don't use this phone?
So I think last time we talked about productivity, and if you use a spoon to try to dig holes, it is always disappointing and you don't get and it takes up
Wow.
everything. So Dimas, I'm happy you remembered, right?
Yep.
Trying to actually use the phone call is like using the stronger tool in this particular case, and it gets the case resolved faster. I can see that this took kind of over a few days. So don't use the spoon. Use the excavator.
Yes, I think so. Yes, Vera, please.
Yeah. If we call, right, is it better if we ask again, like, would you be better if I call or just like directly call?
Could be both, actually. Just call
Alright.
juga nggak apa sih sebetulnya. But there are some, Mr. Jing, there is some apa namanya different habit between Indonesian and bule. Indonesian tend to ask permission to call usually, and if somebody call right away, people kind of like irritated sometimes. It's possible with Indonesian.
I don't know if it's Indonesian or if it's a generation thing, everyone.
Oh,
What I've noticed is that older people tend to prefer to be called, younger people tend to prefer to text. But within the younger people that prefer to text, a lot of them prefer to text because they just don't want to have a sort of a confrontational situation, right? But in this particular case, it's I would think of it this way. Focus your call, think of it as a gift. Okay? You're trying to give somebody a gift of delivering a message by your voice instead of being too casual through a text. Done the correct way with the right amount of respect, a phone call can be seen as being a gift rather than being an interruption or an intrusion. I generally see it this way. If you want to negotiate for a call, you just put another negotiation in front of yourself, right? So why not call and say, hey, would you be bothered if I just spoke to you really quickly right now about how this is going? So start the negotiation right there. And they can say, now's not a good time. Ah, I see. Okay. All right. In that case, would it be impossible to speak about it in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, right? Or an hour or the end of the day? You can even try an A B close, right? And they would go, oh yeah, it wouldn't be impossible. I can do it. So you can already begin the process because if you negotiate for a phone call, okay. Hey, look, ultimately, I'm just offering advice. Choose to take it or not. If you haven't tried it yet, just try it. See if it works for you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right. So, but I have not heard any feedback from this group that they got turned down for a phone call yet. Has anybody got turned down for a phone call yet? Like, no, I don't want to talk to you. Bye.
I did, sir.
You did?
oh,
Wendy, tell us more about that.
So yesterday I was so like facing too much question, and then because I feel like, okay, if I keep answering this text and then the other text come, it's better I call one by one of them.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I call some of them, and then these other guests who are such in a hurry, she just like declined my call, and then he didn't say anything, but he declined.
Okay.
Um, but and then he said sorry, just miss, and then I came back again, and then I call him, and then all setting, and he booked the place.
So calling eventually worked for you, yes?
Yeah, but at
Well,
first
it's
I
okay.
got
At first, you
declined.
look. Negotiation isn't about getting yes right away. Negotiation is trying to get the no's out of the way first. Okay. So, Wendy, your story is actually inspirational for how a phone call actually solved the issue. Now, let's go back to, let's say, what we saw before. Dimas, if we had continued using text over and over and over again, do you think that would have been shorter or longer to actually get to the final point, getting to that deal? Right.
Longer,
And
actually.
also, what if the guest in the middle got distracted, they saw another listing and they booked that, then all the time that you had spent texting in the very beginning is all wasted, right? Using the spoon again. So the faster you can get the guest to reach a decision, the less waste of time that you find. And Wendy, you got declined once, but the second time you called, you got in. That's pretty good, right? That's two attempts and you're in. So imagine if you could
Yeah.
close a deal with two text messages. Hi, how are you? And then the next one is, would you be ready to book? And then they booked right away. That would be really effective, right? So that's what you saw when you used the phone. You got to your end conclusion in just a matter of two tries. which is really much, much better than what texting does. Okay. All right. Listen, if you haven't tried it yet, please just try the power of the phone call, because this assumption that people don't want phone calls, I think, is often based on being knock or shy, right? But think about it. Maybe the other person wants to actually hear you call them. Mhm. Maybe they're annoyed by, oh, I have to text after text after text. Maybe they just want to say, yeah, I'm really happy you called because I was intimidated to actually tell you this, right? And think of it as a gift then in that particular case. Done the right way, a phone call is one of your best tools. So I'd say use it. Um, okay, if you guys tell me you keep on getting declined and people send you angry messages saying don't call me, then come back and I'll tell you maybe that isn't the right approach, okay? But I haven't heard that kind of feedback yet. So let's get that first, and then I'll believe that people don't want to get called. Okay?
Okay, nice one. Thank you, sir, for encouraging the team to do the phone call, yeah, everyone. So it's not the thing that really scary, but might be scary at the very first time if you're first time trying it. But once you have a success case doing that, you will get addicted actually. And yes, and there is some mirrors that Mr. Jenkins came up. So we could say something you don't feel comfortable telling to your CL, and then it triggers them to actually explain more about that, Vera. I think this good. This is such a good mirror. You think it's impossible for you to continue without asking what, if I may know what is the reason, if I may, would you be bothered to tell me the reasons why? With these mirrors, you're actually asking that questions indirectly, tau nggak? If you understand me correctly, Vera. So I think that's also nice approach. And yeah, basically it. I think this one and my in my feedback, Vera, maybe response time. Sometimes this kind of people need more apa ya, empathetic gestures, and situasinya dibuat yang sangat empathetic gitu loh. Jadi for the response time it should be better gitu. Jadi benar-benar showing that we want to listen to them benar-benar gitu. And then I don't think maybe this is too details, but I think it matters. Your emoji is kind of like tricky whether you're actually empathetic or laughing. I think when it comes to written communications, mau nggak mau itu jadi matter gitu. Gitu. And yeah, I think that's it, Vera. So how would you conclude the feedback from everyone, Vera?
Okay, so first from Nadine, right? When the candidate said yang just how I shouldn't have stopped, that's the part where I could drill more response time, and then instead of like directly asking, would you be uncomfortable if I ask you about the problem? We can use mirror, the one that Mr. Jing said. Like you don't feel uncomfortable, like basically mirroring what they said, and then try a phone call, right? To mempercepat the negosiasi. Yes.
Okay, nice, Vera. So yeah, yes, sir. Any addition?
Yeah, I would like to actually bring focus to two feedbacks that haven't been mentioned yet. One is from Shaylin and the other is from Yoga, actually. So there's negotiation and then there's strategy. So Yoga and Shaylin actually have detected this. So, Vera, what is the purpose of actually understanding why this person is quitting after all, right? If you do believe that is personal, is it something that you really control or something that you don't control? So I think it's actually pretty important to know what you're actually trying to discover in this particular negotiation. Now, Yoga's brought up a really good point. Is it something personal or is it something to do with our process? Ultimately, you can't change or affect the personal side. That's up to them. That's why it's personal. But you can discover if it was something wrong with our process. And the the thing you're trying to overcome here is the shyness or the hesitancy to actually express something that could be, you know what? I just had terrible interviews. And you know what? The chapter lead was a jerk, right? Things like that. Because that is ultimately what you can actually change. Okay. So that becomes sort of like the purpose of what you're trying to do is trying to see what is it in our system that needs to change in order for a candidate that you think is a high potential candidate to stay in the program, to stay at Bukit Vista. So this is actually pretty important. And to add to yoga, one of the most effective ways to overcome shyness, or I'm not sure what to say, you can start with a third party story. You can say, hey, um, this sounds like a case last week where somebody told me that they were unwilling to share some personal details. But after we talked for a little bit, they felt more open to tell me that, in fact, that the interview process was broken or there was something that could be improved. How much of this sounds like your case today? Okay. And that kind of gives them the courage to, now that you mention it, here's what I'm going to say, right? Now, it could be a leading question or a leading thing where you're just kind of asking them to dump on the interview process. But if you feel that that is what's holding them back from talking about the process, then that could be a good way to unlock that feeling. So the third party story is a pretty effective tool, right? That can make somebody feel, oh, I'm not the first person that's feeling this way, right? So I feel a little bit more confident to express it. Okay, I'll send it back to Nadine.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir, for the additions. That a very valuable advice for everyone. And yeah, I would agree with that. So Vera, so you got all noted, yeah, Vera, for the next candidate. Okay. Oh, actually, I have one case like this, Vera. Previously, I did to Helen. Helen was mau resign without, and she doesn't want to explain what the matters, right? And then I did. How am I supposed to do that? To give you approval to resign without knowing your reason. And then she, well, okay, Kanadine, but I need time before talk. Okay, at least you want to talk. And then it worked actually. Yes. Okay. Move on, yeah, to the next case. I see there is one case from Dimas. Dimas, can you confirm this is the one with Asia exchange student?
Yes, correct, Nat.
Okay. So everyone, please observe and put your stickies around with your opinion on it, and I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay, maybe I will start with a compliment for Dimas first. So I saw there are some compliments that people give to Dimas in this case. So Mr. Jing said that this such a legit battle. So happy to see that you've put up the good fight here, and I would agree with that. I think Dimas handled the situation very well because it was such a mess in our strategic pricing arrangement with the owners, right? So I'm happy to see the way you framed the news. But there are some things that could be improved. Okay, let's think from Windy. Windy, you said that Dimas give the guests pressure to choose by using calibrated question. Could you
Yes, what I mean is by Dimas saying, which one of the two sounds more appealing to you? Which one of the two sounds more appealing to you?
I see. Okay.
So
So
Dimas is like can choose easily. It's either option number one or number two.
mm, I see. Okay. Am I breaking or it's windy? Can you guys hear me?
No, I mean like negotiable as in like not on the price, maybe like for the services or the thing like that. Because yeah, that is from my side.
Might even be wondering if I really know how to do my job. Yeah, that's one of the advanced apa namanya acquisition audit. But yeah, but this still lucky ya. Apa namanya Dimas the guest didn't show any emotion knowing the price difference. But Mr. Mr. Jing acquisition audit can prevent that. But luckily, it didn't happen to you. So, and then I think you need to confront the issue head on, which is that the on-site team review. Yes, this is more to like strategic issue. Yeah, am I correct,
Yeah.
Mr. Jing?
I would say this. Okay. Something happened between 3 o'clock, right? 15:35 and 17 or 19:24. That's when the decision was made, right? Um, okay. Something broke down here. Dimas, Darty promised to text you at 15:34. You said, great, da 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 da. He didn't keep his promise, all right? He said he'd text you soon, but he texted you almost, um, what was it, 4 hours after. He had a very slow response time. So something happened during that time, right? Something happened where he went, looked at another place, probably, right? Or he had another place that he was thinking about already, and committed to make a decision based on that. Now, the interesting thing is this, everyone. Dimas, did he talk about his friends being together as an important thing for her choosing where he was going to stay?
I don't think so, sir. He didn't mention that before.
Right. Right. So I'm wondering if that's the real reason,
Mhm.
right? Because it shows up all of a sudden at the end, right? This could be a polite way to say no, right? So and where's this person from? Do you know what kind
Um,
of culture background?
I have no idea. Actually, I think
Oh,
he's from
Dimas, you
France.
should. Country code 49. You should check it.
Oh well,
Okay.
I think he's from France. I believe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he has a German phone number though,
yeah,
because I just checked, and plus 49 is
yeah.
a
It's
German
49.
phone. Okay.
Yeah, probably in Europe,
Okay.
Europe side of country.
Just in general, Germans tend to be a bit more direct.
Mm.
Okay, Germans will tell you if they don't like something. Germans will kind of like be very heads on. Um, French people kind of do that too, actually. Now that I think about it, French people have that bit of that culture too. Um, I think something happened. I think something happened. He didn't tell you what either he didn't tell you what he was really looking for, or you didn't discover enough in the very beginning to nail down that this property is a bit very suitable for him. So then there was a surprise at the end, right? All of a sudden, a new thing comes out at the very end that he was actually looking for something closer with his friends. So something happened there. That tells me there's probably no trust, right, in this particular case. So why was that trust broken? And could he have found something within 4 hours to replace what he was already looking for? That's also hard to believe too. So I don't know. I don't know. I think this deal fell apart at the end because there was a breakage in the trust, and Germans generally also are pretty perceptive about these things as well, right? They'll notice like the shift in prices and stuff. Sometimes other cultures will be like, yeah, man. But I don't know. That's just my hypothesis. I have no evidence right now, but I'm just guessing. Something happened where he didn't get back to you as soon as he said he would, and instead he went to look for another option, right? So we need to ask ourselves why that happened. But yeah, I think it's he didn't quite trust. So instead of saying giving you an answer, he went to look for something else and then just tell you I have found something else, right? So there's something about that. Okay, I'll pass it back to Nadine.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Dimas, for this kind of case, make sure you report this to apa namanya to the partnership or the BI because there is some pricing issue juga kan ya, and partnership issue juga. So make sure you report it. And then I wonder the follow up message at the very end. What who did this, Dimas? You? Did you? I
Yeah,
mean,
that was me
why did you
because
send
yeah
the
because he left the group and I initiated to ask him why he left and why he didn't choose the accommodation.
from apa namanya? How did you know kalau dia cancel?
Um, Sebenarnya bukan cancel sih. More like he wants to stay there but haven't paid yet. He decided to pay in the night. Terus habis itu he didn't quite like about the price shifting. So yeah, he canceled the stay, but he didn't stay though.
I see. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is also a strategic issue. I think, Mr. Jing, what do you think? I mean, this kind of issue could be prevented so that can reduce some of unnecessary negotiation.
Yes,
You know.
definitely. Okay, listen up, everyone. Yeah, Nadine's absolutely right. This is kind of a negotiation that shouldn't need to happen. This is somebody else on the team not doing their job, and this is why this happened. The staff on site should not be quoting guests on what prices are. The staff on site need to say, that's Bukit Vista's job to tell you what the price is. Please consult with them. Okay. Um, so that is then essentially needs to be reported to the account manager or the community manager who has the relationship with that partner, and the partner needs to inform their staff that that is not the right way to do business. Okay, so this results in a lot of confusion. This results in a loss of trust, and it results in, it's fairly embarrassing. Um, so that's the long-term plan to fix that. Yes, you can be a hero. You can do your part to try to compensate for these, but I would say focus on delegating it also back to community. Community needs to handle this long term.
Thank you, sir, for your advice. Yeah, I think so. That's the conclusion ya. Apa namanya, Dimas? This might apa namanya be the one case of lack of discovery juga sih. I think kita nggak bisa totally say cuma masalah strategic issue aja, tapi ada salah kitanya di mana we have lack of discovery. Jadi tahu-tahu gone aja gitu, and then we have no idea what happened gitu. Jadi lack of discovery could be one of the case. Okay, thank you everyone for the opinion. Let's see the other. Ada lagi nggak yang interesting? Oke, Shelin, itu tadi udah dibahas ya. And then, yep, I think that's it. Let's move to the, I think could be the last case we discussed today. I think this is coming from Windy just now ya. Windy, is your case ini baru banget terjadi hari ini?
Yep, today.
This is such an unnecessary negotiation case as well, but let's see if we could win it. It's because Ibu Lili berulah lagi ya. So
Okay, so for you guys who haven't been here from yesterday's conversion, I'd like to inform you that this is happened where the guest and the owner is in the part where they don't want to change their decision. So the owner wants her son to with her friend to stay in the villa, but the guest didn't want to refund or move to another villa with any exclusive over from us. So yesterday, I called the agent and tried to do some things that me and Nadine already practice, and it almost like lead us to bright end because the the agent said that she will try to persuade the guest, but we have to send her a text that this is happened because of the unprofessional from the owner. And okay, we can do that. I send that kind of text to her, and then now this the one who answered my chat is the manager. Said that whatever happened, the guest will come to the villa, no matter if there's someone staying there, and threatening that the guest is knowing like people who working on the newspaper or something magazine. And I said that we already thank you for trying to persuade the guest and working together with us, but from our side, the partner is really cannot change the decision. And also I say that try to imagine what will happen if the guests come to the villa and then the owner's son is there. Isn't that can be more chaotic? So yeah. Do you guys have any insight about this? Thank you.
okay, please put your stickies, everyone, and see. The previous conversation, it was on the call, right, Windy?
Yeah, previous conversation was on the call, and I keep telling the same thing. The agent keep telling the same thing. I keep over the same thing. The agent keeps saying the same thing. So that's what happened. Even with all the exclusive over.
Oh yeah. So for giving more context, so we offer to move to lot 3 instead of lot 5 with free private chef, free transfer apa pick up service ya, Windy ya,
Yeah,
and free
and
tour, one day tour ya,
yeah, daily tour.
and day reviews. Maybe it's time to negotiate with Bu Lily again.
Also, the agent mentioned that from their side, actually, they don't want the guest to cancel because um, it will be the guest like threaten them with the bad review.
Okay. Interesting. Let's see Shelley's opinion. Which one to prioritize ya, guest versus partner? So not sure about the solution, to be honest, but need to go back to our positioning on our prioritization and do partners aware about that. I've heard about Ibu Lily a few times, not sure what kind of agreement we have with her. We need to also put stance as a management. Okay, yes, Shalin, I definitely agree with that. But in this case, biasanya we just let Bu Lili do that, you know, karena kadang Bu Lili itu tidak apa ya, sometimes can be unmanageable. Tapi in this case, we did succeed to have her pay for that, for penalty, karena dia betul-betul refuse apa namanya, to accommodate the guests because she really wants her son to stay there. Nggak ada plan lain. If you give me penalty, I will pay for the penalty. That's what I'm surprised to, sir. I didn't know that she has one. And yes, and then um, I was we kind of like did some strategic approach, right? So apa namanya, Windy deal with the agent, I deal with Bu Lily, and Bu Lily finally agreed to pay the penalty, right? And then, but I thought with Bu Lily would be the apa namanya yang paling susah kan, nggak taunya ini malah sama agentnya the is the hardest case gitu. So yeah, but yes, compliment to Windy. Windy, I think it takes courage, yeah, for you to actually call the agent, and then how long this case has been going, Windy?
Since Irma still in charge with the agent.
Oh, okay. So, yes, sir. So please.
I will say that this is a high quality problem. Okay.
Yep.
I'm today I've actually been incredibly delighted by the kind of work and the kind of cases and the kind of discussion and engagement that I see here. This is what inspires delight. I'm happy to be able to say happy news, honestly. Sometimes I come here and I'm like, oh, why is it so frustrating? But Nadine, I think you've led the group really well. I think the group here has learned, and each and every one of you, I think, deserves a compliment today, because this is a really, really challenging situation. I can see that resources have been put into. I see that you're playing like a team. Thank you, Wendy, because I said pass the ball, and you're passing the ball now. So that's really good. You're trusting your teammates to actually come to your aid, and that makes the work much, much better. This is really tough, and from what Nadine has told me so far, it has flowed in the most correct way that it could possibly go so far. Um, I actually wait. I'll let you continue, Nadine. Let's see. Was there a solution in the end? Was there actually a way to get around this?
I don't know. Maybe there's two attempt that hasn't been done, yeah.
Mhm.
Windy is the I don't. I wonder if the how are we supposed to do that strategy will work.
Can do
And
that too. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this agent still in the guest shoes, right?
Yeah.
She's actually in the middle. Can we actually drag the agent to be in our shoes?
Yeah.
I, and then
Okay.
maybe you haven't asked this kind of question. Why would it take for the guest to help us give you the alternative experience? Why would it take gitu? So far kan
Right.
the private chef, all the offers is our ideas, right? Never comes from their idea. So I think this,
Right, right. Something okay, yeah, that's good. That's a strong discovery move. Yep, I would agree.
yeah, I think that
Um, the only way, and this is very advanced, and this is the kind of problems that this is the kind of level you guys should be reaching now. This is a good fight again. Wendy, everyone, this is a good fight. This is we're doing our best. The only way I see that you can bridge it is this: you look for a property not inside Bukit Vista that can be a similar experience to Lot 5. Okay, so you find another amazing property out there, maybe on Booking.com, maybe on whatever, but you find it, and then you talk to them and say, hey, look, I have a guest that's overbooked here. Would you be willing to take that guest? And they say yes, right, over on that side. And then you present this option to your guest. Okay, and if there's a difference between what the guest was willing to pay and what, whatever, then that difference comes from Blue Lily. Okay, that is essentially the only way possible to solve this problem any further at this point. If not, then it's really like, what else could I do, right? I've tried to help you here, I've tried to help you there. It's not within my control. Like, sometimes the owner, they just behave this certain way. I try to be their friend, I try to be your friend, but hey, look, this is a very unfortunate situation. Now they're going to be upset, of course, because plans and whatever, and they're going to threaten. But don't worry, they never follow through with the threats. And the reason they never follow through with the threats is nobody wants to go on holiday and then do all this work to carry out their threats to you, right? So just think of it this way: the more they threaten, it's the best way to interpret it is like a baby when a baby cries, right? It's annoying, it's loud, but it's only doing that because it doesn't know what else it can do, right? They don't know what other options to motivate you to do something. So as long as I think you can skillfully craft some solution that shows that you're engaging with them, shows that you're respecting them, and you've pretty much played the game as far as it can go. And if there's nothing left to do, then you need to find a better teacher than me to teach you how to negotiate there, right? On that one, I'm also kind of like, okay, we're pretty much out of options here. We know what the problem is. We've discovered. Maybe we could do a little bit more discovery, like Dean has said. But aside from that, it's really just limited to what are our solutions? We have no outs, right? We can't just pull things out of the air to solve this problem. That this is a problem that is outside of our scope of power to negotiate with. So unless you find other options, then you're kind of done here. But hey, look, everybody, that is the limit of negotiation sometimes. Until you find a better teacher than me. Until you find a better teacher than me. Maybe somebody else can figure out like, oh God, I can still negotiate this, right? But that's really good. That means you guys are pushing to the level where I can no longer teach you, and you have to find better instructors out there. Okay, but this is good.
Yep, to Windy.
For the question, what will it take to help the guest to move? It's been done, Nadine.
Oh, oke. Dia nggak
And
mau. Nggak dijawab.
and the agent said no. The guest, whatever we already asked the guest, whatever the offer, no, she want that villa, no refund.
Oke.
And for the if the agent aware kalau lot 3 is nearby Apurva, they already know it's already in the same complex, just different buildings.
Sir, do you think it's possible to actually negotiate again with Bu Lily since she haven't paid the penalty, right? So just
Yeah.
max, because this person, the guest said that they are journalists, right? I think Bu Lily cares so much about her.
Okay, this is where you need to enlist the agent to help you, okay, in this particular case, right? So this is kind of a complex negotiation because you're negotiating with another person who's negotiating with another person, right? So you're sort of removed from the truth. So what I would do is this. I would look for, okay, the breaking point at this point has to be with Bulili, okay? Because the guest ain't gonna change. So then what I would do is this, right? I would say, look, if you really want this to happen, be on my side, okay? What is it that you can tell me that I can tell the owner such that I can motivate the owner to change their mind, okay? Here's who the owner is, right? Even maybe you can say the owner happened to be in these magazines, whatever. Maybe she doesn't want bad press about her, right? Right. So, can you tell me a little bit more about who this person is and how I can get that information over? That's all I can really think of at this point. It is complicated. This one is no side is willing to move. Um, this is kind of stuck. This is kind of stuck. You're probably gonna have to motivate Boo Lily, and you're probably gonna have to say, "Hey, Boo Lily, we've been working together for a long time. I know your son is maybe get the son to move, right? Maybe the son can move, right, to lot 3, and then this guest can move over to lot 5, right? And no matter what, okay, the guest side, you're kind of already fucked, no matter what, right? The guest has already been disappointed in seeing this happen. Boo Lily is she still going to be a partner if this doesn't work her way? Yeah, she will, right? She's still going to get paid, right? It's not like this guest is staying for free.
Yeah.
So she just needs to kind of understand what the stakes are. Okay, this is not a simple guest. This is a guest that might, you know, make you look bad later. And we know how important your image is, right? So let's talk about that as part of the negotiation. Let's not talk about the villa or anything. Let's talk about mitigating the threat that your reputation could be slandered by this journalist who is so important. Okay. And based on that, get her to understand, okay, if you don't want to do this, this could be what's happened. Are you prepared to take that risk? And then Bill Lilly will have to make a choice, right? based on the pros and cons. So create, I would say, and this is an interesting strategy. Create an exit for Bulili, right? Present like the worst case. This is what could happen. This is what really bad looks like. But how about we do this instead? And then everyone can walk away happy. So if you have that exit and you give the pressure, then Bulili will probably choose the easiest exit, right? Which is, okay, my son can stay at lot 3. We'll let this journalist in and we'll give him a free bottle of wine just to say sorry for the whole thing, right? And whatever else. That's kind of like the last thing I can think of.
I see. Okay, I think that's the conclusion then, Windy. Let's get back to Ibu Lili, and then we will have a plan ya, gimana framing the threat-nya to Ibu Lili, and then hang the agent for a while dulu, bilang we will. Tapi nggak apa-apa.
Ditanyain tiap hari kayak gitu.
Ditanya juga, yes, okay. Ditanya juga agentnya apa namanya, how would you help us to get this done with the owner? Maksudnya ada suggestion nggak kita harus ngomong apa gitu? Oke?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay, Windy. Okay, I think that's it, everyone. Sorry for overtime. Yes.
One more thing, Nadine. I'm so proud of the changes I've seen in this particular. I didn't come to the Tuesday meeting, but this meeting is completely different. It's like everyone has totally transformed. The engagement is so much better. The quality of discussion is so much better. The cases are really good. And look, this is a moment of what I'm detecting is I think this is a moment of transformation for everyone. So if you're still here, I think, don't stop, right? Don't be like, I'm done. Of course we're going to learn more, but a progression. And the time and energy. Good job, Nadine. I'll let you continue leading. I think. Oh, also, Nadine, I want to compliment you. Another thing, I think the idea of that live practice that you are doing on Slack, with one of our team being the client, that's really clever. That kind of creates a faster engagement, and the results are already showing with Erica. So congratulations. That is, look, this can be anybody, right? I'm complimenting Nadine because she innovated this particular solution. There was kind of a slowness with doing this once a week, so she's put up these ideas, and it's getting faster and faster to transform people. So that is the spirit of Bukit Vista. That is the spirit of how we inspire delight through innovations that positively transform guest partners and you guys, employees. So congrats.
So yes, sir. I also said a culture of it's we encourage each other to do role play with each other every time you need. So you can poke the surging or poke me or Dimas or each other untuk latihan if you want to do the role play before.
Oh, fantastic! That's great.
That's one of the thing that I want to enforce.
I'd love to. All you guys can pretend to be the client, and I'll pretend to like try to negotiate with you any day. Okay, so if you get very difficult clients, you can sit on the opposite side of the table, and I'll sit on your shoes and try to negotiate.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is really good. This is positive. So continue the good work, everyone.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Right,
Thank you, everyone. Congrats for everyone. Please keep improving, yeah. Thank you for attending this meeting. Have a nice day.